Hong sat on the cold concrete stairs behind the gym, soaked in cold coffee, shivering slightly as the evening breeze hit his skin. His knees touching his chest, arms wrapped tightly around them, his eyes were red and puffy, cheeks stained with dry tears. The emulation lingered like a wound. He had tried to hold it together, tried to stop himself from crying, tried to hold back his tears. But now, alone, he finally can let them flow. The Ajay. No one can understand the betrayal, the confusion. Someone, you don't deserve that, you know. Thong looked up, startled. There he was. He saw a girl standing some feet away, a tall girl in a short skirt and an oversized cheerleader jacket, the most popular girl in school. Winter, Shankuk's biggest fan. Everyone knew it. She walked slowly, arm crossed. He was mesmerized of how pretty she looks. But he doesn't know that pretty face doesn't have a pretty heart like him. Winter. I saw everything, the coffee, the humiliation, how his friends laughed, how he made you sad. Today, he crossed the line. Tong looked away, wiping his cheek. What do you want? He was again embarrassed after the mention of it. Please walk away and leave me alone. I want some time alone. She crouches in front of him, tilting her hand on his knee. Nothing, really. Just, I guess, I wanted to say you are not pathetic. Tom blinked at her, confused. But she added, smiling. He, the one who is pathetic, you know? Tom looked at her. I know he is pathetic, a jerk, a maniac, a fool, a dumb person. I know everything. A rude bastard. So, what do you want to say? Winter. Oh honey, I just wanted to say you celebrate his birthday for him when no one else did and he still treated you like garbage. That's pathetic. Tong sniffed, eyes wide. How do you know about that? Winter smirked. I know everything about Shankuk. I have had a crush on him since freshman year. I follow him, watch him, listen to things other miss. I saw you through the cafe window last night. Saw you light the candles. Saw him smile for the first time in ages. She buzzed, her smile fading. But today he poured coffee on you like you were nothing. Her voice sharpened. That's not okay. I don't care how much I like him. That's just cruel. Tong stared at her, too stunned to speak. Winter stood up and dusted off her skirt. I'm throwing a party for him tonight. He doesn't know it yet, but everyone will be there, including him. She looked down at Tong with an arched brows. You wanna get even? You should come. Tong opened his mouth unsure. Winter raised a hand. Look, I know I am not your friend, and yeah, I like Shankuk, but what he did today, that was wrong. If you want him to feel even half of what you feel, I will help you. She offered her hand. Tong looked at it and then at her, and without saying a word, he took it. Tong, why are you so interested in helping me? What will you get? Winter, I know I will get nothing, but I also know I am going to propose him in future, and I want him to realize his mistake before he repeats the. I don't want him to be what he is now. I will just help you to make him realize of what he did was very wrong. Tong, are you sure about helping me because you like him? Winter grabbed his hand, smiling. Yes, honey, I'm so sure, and I told you the reason why I am helping you. So now be ready to get your revenge. I will help you to get that, okay? Tong just nodded, still unsure.
Bruh.
The house was buzzing with the music and laughter. The biggest student of the school had gathered, and everyone was dressed to impress or mock each other. Tong took a deep breath in front of the door, his heart pounding, but this time it wasn't from the fear and sadness. It was something new, something fast. He wore a sick back jacket over a crisp white shirt and jeans. He looked different today, out of his style. Winter stood beside him, smirking. Ready to crash the party? Tong nodded, swallowing the note of nervous. They stepped inside instantly. The chatter from students stopped. He turned. Those students started whispering across the room like wildfire. Is that Taeyong? Why is he here? Isn't this Jungkook's party? And Jungkook is his bully. Did he invite his bully? Or he just come out of nowhere? Oh gosh, look at his style. They laughed. So poor. Oh my god, what can you expect from a cafe worker guy? They laughed again. Taeyong, they're just stupid bunch of people. Don't mind them. Taeyong nodded. I don't mind them today because today I came only to get my work done. Today I fear no one and I know I will teach him a lesson. Winter's mess. That's my boy. Now let's go. In the middle of the room stood Jungkook, looking sharp in the leather jacket. His usual confidence melting as his eyes locked onto Taeyong. What is he doing here? He looked around. People were whispering things while looking at Taeyong and laughing. Oh my god, he shouldn't be here. It isn't good for him. Taeyong made his gaze a spark lightning in his chest. This was the moment, and he wasn't going anywhere. The room was quiet as Jungkook's eyes locked with Taeyong's. Taeyong smirked, feeling a rush of boldness, and started stepping forward. But before he could get close, in confident splash, cold water poured from above, soaking Taeyong from head to toe. The whole room started laughing, loud, cruel, and merciless. Winter stood nearby, laughing wildly as if he had just pulled off the perfect prank. Taeyong's eyes widened, shock and disbelief flashing in them. He looked at Winter. She first bent slightly, showing concern. Oh my god, are you okay? I'm so sorry, she said with fake sweetness. Then suddenly she threw her head back and laughed, loud and harsh. Sorry, but this is just a little playback. And minding in Jungkook's lap, Taeyong froze for a moment, then slowly took a step back, then another, his leg moving backward as Winter was continuously taunting him. You made him laugh, which was my spot. She poked his chest with her finger. You shouldn't have gone too close to him, Taeyong. She gritted her teeth, leaning closer to whisper. You shouldn't have kissed him. She smirked, leaning back, taking one step forward, making Taeyong walk backward. You should have known better than to come here, loser. You don't deserve him. You never did. Suddenly, Taeyong felt the floor under his foot. His eyes widened, and he fell backward into the pool. The room erupted into laughter again. Taeyong's heart pounded wildly, not from the embarrassment, but from real panic. He didn't know how to swim. Water swallowed him fast. He thrashed, splashing desperately, lungs burning for air. The laughter around him faded as he felt the real terror in his chest. The moment Taeyong hit the water, Jungkook's heart dropped. It took him 1 second to realize what was happening, 2 seconds to register Taeyong's arm failing helplessly, 3 seconds before he ran. Taeyong! He shouted and runs to him, and his leg bumped into the table, and the cake fell on the floor. Jungkook ignored it and runs, showing through the crowd, ripping off the jacket in the middle. Everyone watches in stunned silence as Jungkook jumped straight into the pool, hitting the water with a clash splash. Taeyong was sinking, bubbles escaping his lips, eyes wide with panic and fear. Jungkook sat fast down, grabbing his waist and pulling him up with all the strength he had. When they found the surface, Taeyong said lolled against his shoulder, unconscious, pain. Move! Jungkook roared as he pulled him out of the water. Everyone walked back as he laid Taeyong gently on the pool side. Ties. Someone called the ambulance. A voice shouted. Jungkook didn't breathe. He tilted Taeyong's head back, shaking for breathing. Nothing. He pressed his hand over Taeyong's chest, pushing hard to get the water out of his lungs, and it worked. Water started coming out of his mouth in his pocket, but Taeyong still is not breathing. Without hesitation, Jungkook leaned in and began CPR, chest pressing 1, 2, 3. Come on, Taeyong, he whispered under his breath, panicking. Mouth to mouth again. Chest compression, then cough. Taeyong suddenly jerked water spilling from his mouth, and he gasped loudly, eyes flying open in shock. Jungkook let out a choked breath in relief. Gas echoed around them. Jungkook's own hand shaking as he wiped sweat from his forehead. Everyone stared, Winter smirk had vanished completely. Jungkook gently held Dong's face. Hey, you are okay? You are safe now. Dong blinked, confused and breathless, tears mixing with the water on his cheek. Their eyes locked. The crowd had disappeared for a moment. There was only them, and this time Jungkook wasn't letting go. Come on, Dong, please. Jungkook's voice trembled as he leaned down once again, pressing his lips on Dong's in a desperate attempt to get him breathing. Then coughed. Dong suddenly jolted, choking on water, coughing as he struggles to breathe. Eyes wide, Jungkook's face lit up with stunning relief. Dong, you're okay, you're okay. Just breathe with me. Dong gasping and blinking, trying to clear his vision, and then he saw who was holding him. Dong, you? He pushed Jungkook, chased with all the strength he could cover. Don't touch me, he says, cogging still. But furious now, Jungkook arm fell back in shock. Dong gritted his teeth, his arm trembling as he tried to sit up on his own. His body shook, water dripping from his hair and clothes. He plashed his foot on the ground, trying to rise. His leg gave out. Jungkook rushed forward to catch him again. Dong, I said don't touch me. Dong shouted, splashing Jungkook's hand away, falling hard onto the side with a groan. The crowd had been watching in stunned silence, frenzied at the sudden outburst. Dong dragged himself back up to sit, breathless, heavy, glaring at the boy who had just saved his life. Is this fun to you? Push me down and pull me up like some kind of game? Jungkook tried to reach again, eyes stormy with guilt, but Dong pushed him back roughly. Dong, don't you dare to act like you care. Pain flashing, being his words. Jungkook stood froze helpless, surrounded by people, but still felt lonely. And Dong, soaked, shivering, and shaking with tears, he refused to shed in front of him again. Slowly, look at that, away. Then he whispered brokenly, I would rather have thrown it. And those words hit Jungkook harder than any punch ever could. He just watched Dong leave the room. The rain had started to fall just as Dong stepped out of the door, his drenched clothes clinging to his shaking body, water splashing in his shoe. But he didn't stop even to catch his breath. He didn't care that it was raining. He didn't care who was watching. He just wanted to get away from him, from everything. Behind him, the door cracked open again. Dong, don't follow me. Dong turned suddenly, his voice sharp, throat burning from solid pool water and solid pain. His chest heaving. Just don't. But Jungkook didn't stop. He didn't try to explain. He just stepped forward quietly and wrapped his jacket over Dong's shoulder. Dong froze. The jacket was warm against his shivering skin, heavy with Jungkook's scent. For a moment, he wanted to show it off, throw back to him. But his fingers clutched the collar instead. He was shivering too much, too body, too weak. The warmth, the tempting, and Jungkook didn't say a word. He didn't push, he didn't plead. He just stood there, both of them getting soaked under the pouring rain. Dong turned away slowly, tilting his jacket around himself with trembling hands. Then he started walking, step by step, down the street. Rain fell harder. The air smelled like wet ground. He didn't look back. He knows Jungkook is following without saying a word. His jacket stayed on his shoulder all the way home. Trembled as he fumbled for the keys. The rain hadn't stopped. His skin was ice cold, lips pale, and his vision blurry. His body wasn't just cold, it was burning now. His knees gave a sudden shake. No, not now, he thought weakly, forcing himself upright against the wall. But his head spun. He didn't even get the door open. With a soft thud, Dong collapsed just outside the doorstep, eyes shutting. A few steps behind, Jungkook had turned to leave earlier, but something stopped him to watch Dong, to stay He would watch it tongue, legs wobble, and the moment he saw his body feel like a rag doll, Shankuk ran. Thong! He dropped on his knees, heart thudding in his heart. He felt like he might rip his chest. He shook him gently at first. Thong, hey, wake up! No response came. He pressed his hand on Thong's forehead and flinched. Thong was burning shit. With no hesitation, Shankuk scooped him up with his arm, burst through the door. It was unlocked. He pushed it open and entered it. Nobody called out, nobody came running. He realized it with lump in his throat. Thong lay alone. Shit. Okay, hang on. Shankuk whispered, laying him on the couch with care, brushing the wet hair off his face. He looked out, horrified, immediately called his personal doctor. 20 minutes later, the doctor arrived. He shook Thong Vito while Shankuk strolling silently nearby. Tension clothes forgotten, case fixed only on the boy on the couch. High fever 103.4. The doctor says seriously. Subchill, probably from exposure and stress. He is exhausted and dehydrated. I am giving him antipyretic injection and meds to bring down the fever. Shankuk just nodded. He didn't trust himself to speak. He said silently as the doctor gave the injection, wiped Thong's arm and gently helped reposition him. A warm blanket was pulled over his shivering body. Doctor, he should rest. Someone need to stay with him tonight. Shankuk, I will. Shankuk said without hesitation. Once they were alone again, Shankuk sat by the edge of the couch, elbow on his knees, staring at Thong's face. The room was quiet except for the tickling clock and Thong's soft breathing. I didn't mean to break you, he whispered to the boy who still refused to wake. I didn't mean to become the reason you fall apart. His hand hovered for a second before gently resting beside Thong's on the blanket, and he stayed that way, watching over him like silent promise. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. I know I have been a pain in your ass, but I'm still sorry. I can't say anything more, but I can promise to be good to you from now on. When Thong slowly opened his eyes, sunlight blocked his view. His throat was sore, his body still itching, but not so badly as expected. He pushed himself up from the bed and blinked. There was no one beside him. No Shankuk, just a steaming bowl of soup on the table, still warm. Next to it, nearly arranged, were fewer medicine, tissues, and folded note with a small handwriting. Drink this, you will feel better. Check it. Another note was sticked under the glass. I'm sorry. Thong stared at them all, then without emotion, he grabbed the bowl and dumped it into the sink. The medicine followed next. He threw them too. He didn't want to be by him. If sickness wanted to stay, so be it. He got ready and left for university. He has already talked to the principal about what he wants. The campus was older today. People stared, whispered. Some looked away. Thong passed them. He didn't care. His destination was clear. He knocked once, then stepped into the principal office. Principal Thong. Principal Namjoon greeted, standing from behind his desk. But today he looked worried. Sit down. Thong offered, eyes low. Namjoon took a long breath before speaking. I heard what happened at the party. I saw the footage. I'm sorry, Thong. Being sorry doesn't erase what happened. Thong said softly. Principal, I know. Namjoon nodded. That's why I already contacted Daegu University as you wanted. Thong said snapped up in surprise. I told them the truth, that you are one of top performing student and that you were subjected to harassment, bullying and public humiliation by people who will be punished accordingly. Thong, they accepted me? He was surprised after hearing all this. How can they accept him? Principal, they did. Now just once. Your records speak for itself. You are transferring midterm and they are making an exception. Thong's eyes become numb. You don't deserve to walk this hall in shame while others walk free. Namjoon said with quiet anger. I only regret not stepping in sooner. Thong stood, bowing deeply. Thank you so much, Principal Lim. Namjoon placed a warm hand on his shoulder. You will do great thing, Thong. I know it. And if life ever brings you back this way, I hope you will visit this old man again. Thong gave a small smile, his face smile in days. I will. That's the promise. As Thong left the office, he felt lighter, the air cleaner. He walked through the corridor one last time, not as a victim, but as someone who refused to let the world decide his what he was leaving, not because he is ashamed to face them again, to start a new chapter of his life where there are no Jungkook, no winter. A new chapter was waiting, and this time, the certain someone will not be the one writing it. He promised himself he will do his best. No more hiding behind hoodies and glasses. He will show what he is capable of. He will not let anyone bully him again. Not this time. If someone tries, he will become a baddie himself. The lecture were going on. Jungkook couldn't hear a single word. His leg bounced under the desk. Fingers clenched his pen so tightly as if going to break it. Every second felt like it was eating him alive. 5 days. 5 days since that night at the party. 5 days since Thong nearly drowned right in front of him. Since Jungkook gave him CPR. Since he stayed up all night making sure he was breathing. Since he left him warm soap and mates and stupid apology note with trembling hands. But since then, Thong vanished. He hadn't showed up in any classes. He didn't return Jungkook's message. His social media was dead silent. He didn't exist anymore. In one place, Jungkook always saw him, and Jungkook, he was losing it. He hadn't slept, barely ate. His thoughts were clouding with guilt and panic, and the image of Thong's pale face in the water, those tears that kept replaying like punishment in his mind. Was he okay? Was he still sick? Did he hate him that much now? As soon as the professor said, "That's all for today," Jungkook gets up, grabbed his bag, and rushed out of the room to the parking lot. He sits on his bike wearing his helmet. He didn't even stop to think. He just needed to see him, just once, just enough to know he was okay. Jungkook's bike stopped just outside the familiar building. He pulled off the helmet with shaky hand and ran up the step two with a time. His heart was shouting. He knocked once, twice, then pressed the bell rapidly, but nothing happened. He called out, "Thong, open the door, it's me." Silence. "Thong, please." Still nothing. He was about to knock again when the door to the apartment next to Thong opened. An older woman with "Are you Jeon, Jungkook?" Jungkook turned to her surprised. "Yes, that's me." She stepped out, holding something tightly in her hand. "He left 5 days ago," said if someone named it not. She extended the neatly folded envelope, the name Jungkook written on it. His throat closed as he took it. "Jungkook, wait, do you know where he went?" he asked, almost bleeding. The woman shook her head gently. He didn't say, just smiled and said it was time for him to start over. Jungkook's hand trembled as he opened the letter, the scent of Thong's cologne lingering faintly on the paper. "Dear Jungkook, by the time you read this, I will be long gone. Don't worry, no dramatic ending, just a quiet goodbye. You won't be able to bully me anymore. That part of my life, I have left it behind. You taught me many things. Without even realizing, you made me strong enough to live, strong enough to walk away with what kind of pride I had left. So thank you. Thank you for making me cry. Thank you for making me stand up. And thank you for giving me the final push I needed to become someone who chose self-respect over silent suffering. I consider you were that chapter of my life which I will never wanna read, which I all want to rip away and throw it in dustbin. But sadly I can't. The wounds you have given me, the attention I got just because of you bullying, I will never forget. How people laughed at me and how you used to laugh with them, I will never forget. And also, thank you for saving me that day for drowning. But if that makes you think I will forgive you, then forget that. Because the wound you have given me can never heal. I will never be able to forgive those things until I die. Yeah, it will fade with the time. So does your existence from my life. And I will be waiting for that day. And one more thing, thank you for teaching me so many things. And I will teach my future kids. I will never make them weak like me. They will be strong enough to fight with the jerk like you. I hope there's no more junk who can get born because they will again torture people and I don't want that. But now I am starting a new book, so I'm happy. Goodbye, Jungkook. Please get a life, not a new target. I hope you will not do the same thing with anyone else which you did to me. Goodbye, Thong. Jungkook read the words again and again, and by the fourth time, the paper shook violently in his hands. As his vision blurred, a sob leaped from his chest as he slid down the doorframe, clutching the letter to his heart. He never knew that losing the person you never dared to love properly could hurt this much. But yeah, his story ended just before it started, and it's better for some stories to remain unfinished for their own goods. This punishment is enough for Jungkook to realize his mistake. Crying won't gonna help him now. What has happened had happened. He should also start a new start because his and Thong's story has ended already here. I'm sorry, Tay. I'm sorry. He cries out. I never meant to hurt you this much, but never knew my action were hurting you this much until I lost you. I'm sorry. He cries more. But I hope there's a day when we will meet, and I promise to create a beautiful love tale with you. I promise, Thong. I promise.